Retiring at 58 sounds almost impossible to many Canadians. There is an assumption you need millions saved, no debt, and a perfectly smooth investment ride. It's assumed early retirement is only for people who sold a business, inherited money, or worked high-income jobs their entire life. But here's the truth most people don't see. Retiring at 58 is all about controlling one specific part of your retirement plan that quietly makes the entire transition easier. And when you get this one thing right, the numbers start to work. Your withdrawal rate makes more sense, your taxes become more manageable, and early retirement stops being a fantasy and becomes a math problem you can actually solve. I've seen Albertans retire at 58 with far more confidence than people who waited until 65. Not because they saved more, but because their income was structured properly for the goals they had. Hi, I'm Stefano Francesca, Certified Financial Planner Professional and Senior Wealth Advisor at Next Step Wealth Management with IPC Securities Corporation. If you find this helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps more Canadians see this. Number one, the real challenge of retiring at 58 isn't the money, it's the gap years. When Canadians talk about early retirement, they obsess over whether they have enough saved, and that's definitely part of the equation. But the bigger challenge isn't the total amount, it's the timing of the income gaps. Retiring at 58 means you're not collecting CPP yet, not collecting OAS yet, probably not receiving employer pensions if they have age requirements, and probably not subject to RIF minimums yet. This creates what I call your gap years, the period where you're fully retired but not yet receiving government benefits or mandatory income. These gap years are the key to early retirement. If you know how to structure your income during this time, retiring at 58 becomes not only possible, but surprisingly manageable. And that brings us to the one thing many Canadians never do. Number two, the one thing, build a flexible income plan, not a fixed withdrawal plan. Most people think early retirement requires a rigid, fixed amount withdrawn every single payment. They try to force their portfolio to behave like a steady paycheck. But the truth is, that's the hardest way to retire early. The easiest way is to create a flexible income plan, one that adapts based on the tax bracket you're in, the accounts you draw from, the benefits you haven't started yet, the timing of CPP and OAS, your investment mix, your lifestyle spending in each stage of retirement. When you build flexibility into your withdrawal strategy, several doors open. You can draw more from your RSP in low tax years. You can lean on your TFSA in high tax years. You can adjust withdrawals when inflation increases tax brackets or benefit amounts. You can delay CPP or start it earlier based upon your needs. You can avoid taxable income spikes. This flexibility is what makes retiring at 58 realistic, even without enormous savings. Rigid withdrawal plans break early retirements. Flexible withdrawal plans make them work. Number three, your 50s and early 60s are your most tax-efficient retirement window. One of the biggest advantages of retiring at 58 is that your early 60s often become your lowest tax years. You're no longer earning employment income. You likely haven't started CPP or OAS. You haven't yet hit mandatory RIF withdrawals. And so that creates a rare opportunity, your retirement tax window. During these years, you can take strategic RSP withdrawals, reduce the size of your future RIF, manage your tax bracket intentionally, avoid OAS clawbacks later on, smooth your income over several phases, and potentially build up your TFSA as a tax-free buffer. Your 50s and early 60s aren't just the bridge years. They're the years where the smartest planning happens. And the earlier you retire, the bigger this window becomes. This is exactly why many Albertans who retire early end up paying less tax over their lifetime than those who wait until after 65. 4. TFSAs are the backbone of early retirement cash flow. Your TFSA is the single best tool for early retirement income. It gives you tax-free withdrawals and the flexibility for income. There's no impact on CPP, no impact on OAS, no impact on your tax bracket, and no clawback consequences. But here's a mistake people make. They treat their TFSA like a savings account instead of a planning tool. When structured properly, your TFSA becomes a bridge between ages 58 and 65. It's a tool to avoid taxable withdrawals in high income years. It's a way to preserve OAS eligibility deeper into retirement, and it's a stabilizer for irregular expenses. TFSAs aren't just an investment vehicle. They're one of your strongest early retirement levers. $1 of TFSA withdrawal is equivalent to $1.42 of RSP or RIF withdrawals at a 30% tax bracket. That makes your TFSA a very powerful tool. Those who build large TFSA balances throughout their working years are finding that this single account makes retiring in their late 50s dramatically easier. Number 5, coordinating CPP and OAS timing gives you more control than you think. One of the biggest misconceptions around early retirement is the idea that you must delay CPP or OAS until a certain age. The reality is the opposite. You get to choose. And the right choice depends on when you retire, how large your RSP is, how much you want to pull from your investments, how much flexibility you want later, how your health looks and how your longevity looks, how much you want to protect your OAS from clawbacks. For example, if you retire at 58 and want stability early on, starting CPP earlier might reduce the pressure on your investments. If you want more reliable lifetime income in your 70s and 80s, delaying CPP may be more beneficial. There's no universal rule here. It's all about your plan. What matters is coordination, fitting CPP and OAS into a flexible income plan rather than treating them as automatic fixed benefits. When timed intentionally, CPP and OAS become tools, not constraints. 6, early retirement doesn't require more money. It requires better sequencing. People spend years trying to hit a magic retirement number, but early retirement depends far more on how you access your money than how much you have. If your income sources are sequenced properly, your RSPs last longer, your tax bill is smoother, your withdrawals are more consistent, your investment risk is easier to manage, your OAS remains protected, your cash flow stays predictable. Your portfolio doesn't need unrealistic returns. The secret to retiring at 58 is effective sequencing. A 58-year-old who understands sequencing can retire with more confidence than a 65-year-old who doesn't. And this is exactly why early retirement is more predictable than most Canadians think, if you focus on the right thing. Retiring at 58 isn't a fantasy, it's a planning challenge. And when that becomes realistic, when you shift from a rigid withdrawal mindset to a flexible income plan. Once you understand your gap years, your retirement tax window, how to use your TFSA properly, how to time CPP and OAS strategically, how to sequence withdrawals, the math behind early retirement becomes far more achievable than most people expect. The earlier you understand your income flexibility and how it can match your income goals, the sooner you can retire with confidence, even in your late 50s. If you're a Canadian retiree or within 5 to 10 years of retirement and you want a personalized strategy, click the link in the description to book a discovery meeting. Let's take the next step.